look, human beings do well when they have carrot and stick. So a mandate helps people to realize it's time.
A carrot and a stick? Dude, these people are freaking sociopaths. They're not even looking at us as individuals. They're looking at us as if we're animals that need to be controlled, right? A carrot and a stick. God dang, Blasio. Absolute lunacy on his end, right? This really goes to show how far the left has now gone. They're actually at a point now where they're really comparing people to the thing we'd always, again, give to animals, right? And the funny thing is, the animal never gets the carrot. Right? The carrot's the incentive, but it never actually gets acquired, right? No, they are more than willing to use the stick to beat us into submission if that's what they want. What's going on, everybody? My name is James with Heavyweight Politics, and yes, de Blasio is now just going full fascist, saying we're going to beat people into submission by using mandates and forcing people against their will, in some instances, of course, to get this vaccine. And I do use the term against their will because we've seen this multiple times at this point, where people who, part of their parole at this point is to get vaccinated. Right? If you're saying we'll let you go if you get vaccinated or else you go to prison, I'm going to use the phrase against your will. They are vaccinating people against their will at this point. And this isn't surprising. These people don't look at us as individuals. Right? These people are the elites. They think they know better than you. They know better than all of us. And so they can force down their views upon people without any consequences. These people are, by definition, sociopaths. They have no ability to comprehend other people's emotions, right? They don't acknowledge that there's other people outside of themselves and maybe some people who are very close to them personally. Other than that, the rest of us mean nothing, right? Our opinions don't matter. Our personal views don't matter. Someone who might be religious and can't get the vaccine doesn't matter. Someone who has an actual reason why they can't get it, some type of exemption, medical-wise, oh, that doesn't matter. All that matters to these people is they get what they want done. They do not care about you. They do not care about me. They don't care about anyone at all that's in their cities. All they care about is themselves. That's all they've ever cared about. But now they're becoming more and more open about this, where now they're basically just kind of openly saying the quiet part out loud, saying, yes, we are going to use a stick. We are going to find ways to make it uncomfortable for you to exist in this society without having a vaccine. And I feel like I have to say this every single video. I'm 100% for vaccines. I love vaccines. They make us superhumans. They make us immune to all sorts of diseases that otherwise would kill us. Vaccines are amazing. They're great. You know, my son just hit his 4-month mark. Guess what? We had to go and he got about 3 shots and then also an oral vaccine as well. Really, really love vaccines. They're phenomenal. But it doesn't mean every vaccine works for every person. There are individuals who, of course, have certain reasons why they can't get a vaccine. My doctor recommended against it because I already had COVID. He said he would never he would never recommend someone who already has an illness to get a vaccine for that illness. So that was kind of a light recommendation for me, but I also have other people who I know who they were told flat out after they got the first dose, no, don't get the second one because you had a very bad reaction and this could be dangerous for you, right? So there are other people who can't get it because of real serious medical conditions, yet they will also be beaten by the stick of the government into getting that second dose whether they want to or not, whether their doctor tells them they can or not. And this is excluding the actual real centerpiece of this issue, right? Where it's about individual freedom, individual liberty, right? This is constantly just forgotten about here. Even if the vaccine is 100% safe for 100% of the people, and it is the best vaccine ever created, there is still the issue of the government forcibly injecting you with something. That is an issue. That is a major it's a major problem. I don't think there's anything wrong with the COVID vaccine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think everyone should talk to their doctor and look at getting it, all right? I know people who, I have a friend who has terrible asthma, and he would definitely be in the at-risk category. You know, he's slightly overweight, has terrible asthma. He's in a very at-risk category. He got the vaccine. Hey, great, fantastic. He talked to his doctor said, yes, you definitely need this. He got the vaccine. I talked to my doctor recommended against it, so I chose not to. But what I'm mostly concerned about is what happens after, what happens later down the road. All right, the government has experimented on people before. I'm not saying they're doing it here. I think that this one is just the way they build trust in a way, basically saying, hey, look, we've done this before with the COVID vaccine, so when we come out with this new thing, well, people, come on, we've done it before, and then they can just slide in other stuff on top of it. I'm not concerned with the COVID vaccine. I think it's great. I think it's awesome was created. Thank you, Trump, for getting it done as fast as you did. Warp speed was amazing and just a great accomplishment. Just a great accomplishment. But what I am worried about is 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the line when they say, hey, we got this other injection you have to take. Oh, but it'll only be for this select portion of the population. And then what happens? We had the Tuskegee experiment all over again, right? We don't know what they might do in the future. And what I say to people on the left all the time who sit there and tell me, oh, but, right now, they're good, right? These vaccines are great. I'm like, I 100% agree. 100% agree, they're great. But what happens if someone who you hate, let's say Trump gets back in 2024, comes out with a new vaccine and says, now all of you have to take it. How would you like that? What would you do? The reality is we know what the left would do because the left said they didn't trust the vaccine when Trump was still in office. And the funny thing is, if Trump was still in office, they would probably still be against the vaccine. They would be the ones who would be mostly against it more than anyone else. All right, this idea of forcing vaccinations on people is something that will split up the country. It will destroy trust in our institutions. It will lead to violent protest. And again, I say it all the time. I am against violence. I don't like violence. I peace, love, all that hippie garbage, right? I like it. I like the idea that I could go outside, relax, and, maybe have a little something, just chill out, right? Like, I enjoy that. At the same time, I think we need to acknowledge the fact of if they start forcibly injecting people with stuff, as they are currently doing in some areas like New York, there will be violence. People will get violent. People will not allow people to forcibly medicate them. The fact that these people think that people would just bend over and take it, they're not. There are people who they'll take the other extreme. They will go out. I mean, we all know about the killdozer, right? I mean, it doesn't take much for people to say, you know what, I've had enough, and then do something pretty extreme. And the worst part is, it's hard to really get on them too much when something like that happens, right? I mean, the reality is yes, people have the right to decide for themselves, and when you take away that right, I'm reluctant to get on them too much when they do things I disagree with in response, right? Like when a kid gets picked on all day long, every day of school, and one day he just does something crazy like grabbing like a hole puncher and cracking the dude across the skull with it, which actually did happen in our school. Do I agree with him grabbing a hole puncher and cracking someone's skull, open basically with it? Not really. At the same time, the dude was being picked on for, years and years. Things happen. Now I can empathize with it. And the same goes with people who are being forcibly medicated against their will. When they sit there and do something crazy, I don't agree with it, but I sympathize with it. I can't be too angry about it. But I mean, they're literally saying the quiet part out loud here again, the carrot and the stick. I mean, this is an analogy we use quite a bit, and guess what? The person who it's being used against, it's never good for them. I know it's a phrase we've used tons of times in the past, but guess what? Anytime it's been used, the people who they're talking about with that, it's never pleasant for them. And it won't be pleasant for us. These people are sociopaths. These people don't care about you. They don't care about me. They only care about themselves, and they only care about what they think is best for the people, not what the people thinks they don't care about what the individual thinks is best for themselves. Either way, I saw that and I just had to rant. It was driving me nuts that these just lunatics are actually out here literally saying stuff like this out loud, that yes, we need to make it unpleasant for you to exist in society without having vaccines. Again, I am for vaccines. I love vaccines. Vaccines are amazing. But I am not going to sit there and hold a gun to someone's head and say, you know what, vaccinate or else. And that's what this is. Remember, every law that gets in place is enforced with the barrel of a gun. If you disagree with the law, they will send an armed man to your house and arrest you. If you try to resist that arrest, saying that it's unlawful because you disagree with the law, they will shoot you. Every law that ever gets passed is enforced at the barrel of a gun. And I will not send someone with a gun to someone's house and say, take this vaccine or else. It does not sit right with me, nor should it sit right with anyone out there who is at their core an individualist. Either way, what do you think? I mean, again, I just say this is another reason, of course, like I've been saying countless times at this point, not to go to New York. But what do you think? Is he just kind of misspeaking, or are they just at this point saying the quiet part out loud? Obviously, if you've enjoyed this video, leave a like. It really does help. And of course, subscribe to the channel. We're doing daily videos now. Mostly just sometimes just ranting like this. Sometimes looking at different articles. But still, if you enjoy these videos, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Either way, we'll see you again real soon.